Hello, lovelies, and welcome back. So we're going to quick talk about Venus signs. So this is a very, very basic intro. If you want to know about rising and moon signs, I will put them below. Those are from way, way back when I first started making videos. So we tend to focus as people in general on what our sun sign is, and most people only know their sun or zodiac sign. But as many who are watching this know, that does not explain and describe every aspect of you and who you are. Your sun sign really just is more on your ego and sense of self. To put it very, 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 very basic. But each planet has a different responsibility and what part of your being it governs. So, like your moon, governs your inner world and your emotions. So with Venus, many don't think of what is my Venus sign. They may think of what is my sun sign, what is my moon sign, what's my rising/ascending. And some may even go as far as what's my Mars and what's my Mercury. But a lot of people don't think of what's my Venus sign. But really, if you are thinking of relationships, and not just relationships romantically, though obviously by the name, that's a huge aspect, but also finances, material possessions, relationships with, friends, family, etc. But yes, a huge part is relationships romantically. It basically governs your values, your value system, and what you value in these various types of relationships, whether it be friends, romantic, financial, etc. So this is going to be that best indicator, not your sun sign, as to what you desire, value, may behave like, and what you may be attracted to within relationships. Specifically, let's focus on romantic for all intents and purposes. However, many people, actually the majority from my understanding, share their sun and their Venus. It's not that uncommon. However, others, it may be a sign that's very near where their sun sign is. So like my sun is Taurus, but my Venus is Aries. Venus shows what kind of relationships you're going to really thrive in and what sparks your specific pleasure. So not just your values, but your pleasure, your needs, your desires. So if you tend to keep ending up in toxic or unhealthy relationships, or people that just don't mesh well with you at all, your values and what you want in a long-term relationship are completely different. You might be extremely empathetic and they just don't give two shits about anything. You want extreme commitment, they do not value that. And then, to the smaller degree of just being like oil and water, right? So now I'm just going to say a little bit of what each one, some basic words for each of the 12 relating to Venus, what that looks like. So I'll start off with Venus and Aries. Like I said, that's mine. I'm easily excited by the prospect of new love and the idea of new love. Always looking for ways to revive a romance and the passion in a long-term relationship to kind of keep that excitement going. So the key words are passion, intense, like fire, protective of those that they love and care about, and they don't like to play mind games. So if your Venus is Taurus, you tend to appear reserved. You're not the type to rush into relationships. You're very loyal, which kind of goes with being Taurus, but you want to make sure that they're worth it first. You don't want high drama, and you will shy away from players, and you can be possessive to a different extent. Gemini, social chameleons and talkative. Desire very active, lively relationships that may include a lot of adventures. Loyal as well, but more focused on communication and fun activities and adventures. You want the relationship to not be boring. Cancer. So if your Venus is in Cancer, you're a hardcore romantic, and almost to the extent of a love addict. You fall hard, you're very emotional, but you're intuitive of partners' needs and feelings. But because you fall hard and you're so emotional, and because of all these other aspects of this almost vulnerability when it comes to romance, can be very weary of who you can trust. So you may open up a lot, but you're still weary if you can trust them, and you might be weary at first, and then once you're fully in and you fall hard, it's fully out there. Leo in Venus, huge flirts, very charismatic, likes to feel desired and admired, and they can be extremely loyal. Is the key word. And they're compassionate and warm-hearted. Virgo in Venus. So again, very reserved, and this is a very common thread with people that have their Venus in earth signs. They're a very good partner and friend to have. They're self-critical, but they're also self-critical of those that they're dating as well as those in their close circle. So there's that. Libra, they love the fantasy of love. So they might create fantasies of what the relationship is going to be, or fantasies of the perfect relationship, the ideal relationship for them. But of course, this can lead to bad situations because it does make you vulnerable too, because you might be more into this fantasy of the person or the relationship rather than the actual relationship itself. You have no time for power and control games, though. You will not allow for that. You want balance. And I should specify that if you find yourself in relationships the opposite of what's being said about this and they're long-term, I'm going to ask, are you happy? All right. So Scorpio. I think this one can kind of be obvious because there's so many statements with Scorpios in general. So Scorpio and Venus would be no different. In fact, even more so. Craves intimacy and intensity and sexual desires. Needs to be in control to some extent. They at least need to feel that they're in control, even if their partner is giving them the illusion of such. They need that control. So I don't think a Scorpio Venus and a Libra Venus is going to end up being a very good mix. All right. May find it difficult to forgive people, can be jealous. And this comes from that extreme passion and intensity that everything is like, and this is the same with like Aries as well, but not to the same extent as Scorpio when it comes to jealousy. But when they're committed, they have fallen very hard, which only gives in to that jealousy even more. Sagittarius Venus wants independence and freedom within relationship. That's not to say that they don't or won't have a committed long-term relationship. It's that they want that balance at least. So you might see very often in their youth, people with Sagittarius Venus coming off as committophobes, but really it's that they haven't really figured out that they want that balance, that they may want a relationship, especially as they get older, but they want that independence as well. So again, not probably a good match for Scorpio at all. Very passionate, likes to have similar interests and beliefs with their partner. So going back to that whole value system, this is like values times 2, because, you know, Venus is in control of your values, but for them, they need to have shared values with their partner in order for things to be good. Capricorn. So again, like the other earth signs, appear reserved, and they can act as such, but once in deep in a relationship and those walls are down, they can get extremely passionate. They want the stability within the relationship and the commitment, as well as financial stability within the relationship. when it's long-term and marriage. Pisces, another emotional one. Very forgiving and loving. Very much a hopeless romantic and fantasizing about love. So this is another one that could kind of go into that area of, are they really in love with their current relationship and partner, or is it the fantasy that they are creating about the person? Or are you so obsessed and fantasizing about love? So this can go for Pisces, Cancer, you know, water signs in general. You know, are you really, you know, wanting that person, or is it just that you want love so bad? And that's not saying for everyone, that's just an aspect. And of course, this is your Venus. So that's all I have. I'll also put a Venus sign calculator in the description box below as well if you currently don't know. And thanks for coming back. Blessed be, and love you all. Bye.